Hey there. You ever book a place to stay, thinking it's going to be your home away from home, only to realize something's watching you? I'm Mia, and I need to tell you about the creepiest weekend of my life. It was supposed to be a relaxing getaway, a cozy Airbnb in the middle of nowhere, just me, some quiet, and a chance to unplug. But then I found it, a hidden camera, tucked away in the corner of the room, and what it recorded, let's just say, I'm not sure I'll ever feel safe again. Grab a blanket, turn on a light. This story is going to make you double-check every room you ever stay in. It all started last summer. I'd been working nonstop, grinding away at my graphic design job, staring at screens until my eyes burned. I needed a break, somewhere quiet, away from the city, where I could just breathe. I found this Airbnb listing a charming little cabin in the woods, about 2 hours from where I live. The pictures were perfect. Wooden walls, a stone fireplace, big windows looking out at pine trees. The reviews were glowing, 5 stars across the board. Peaceful retreat, one said. Like stepping into a fairy tale, said another. The host, a guy named David, seemed nice enough. Quick replies, friendly tone, no red flags. I booked it for a long weekend, packed a bag and hit the road. The drive was gorgeous. Winding roads, trees stretching as far as I could see, the air getting crisper the farther I got from the city. I arrived at the cabin just as the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The place looked exactly like the photos, small, rustic, nestled in a clearing with a gravel path leading up to it. I parked, grabbed my bag, and punched in the key code David had sent me. The door clicked open, and I stepped inside. The cabin smelled like pine and wood smoke, warm and inviting. There was a small living room with a couch and a coffee table, a tiny kitchen, and a bedroom with a big, comfy-looking bed. Everything was clean, cozy, exactly what I'd hoped for. I dropped my bag, kicked off my shoes, and flopped onto the couch, feeling the stress of the past few months melt away. For the first time in forever, I felt free. That first night was perfect. I made some tea, curled up with a book, and let the quiet sink in. No traffic, no emails, just the sound of crickets outside. I went to bed early, the soft hum of the forest lulling me to sleep. But around 2 a.m., I woke up. Not sure why, maybe a noise, maybe just that weird feeling you get when something's off. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, listening. The cabin was quiet, but too quiet, like the kind of silence that feels heavy, like it's hiding something. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and swept the beam around the room. Nothing. Just the bed, the nightstand, a small dresser in the corner. But that prickle was there, that itch on the back of my neck, like someone was watching. I told myself I was being paranoid. New place, new sounds, that's all. I checked the front door locked, windows closed. Everything was fine. I went back to bed, but sleep didn't come easy after that. The next morning, I felt better. The sun was streaming through the windows, the forest alive with birds chirping. I made coffee, sat on the porch, and laughed at myself for getting spooked. It's just a cabin, Mia, I thought. You're not in a horror movie. I spent the day exploring the area, hiking a nearby trail, snapping photos of the trees, even finding a little stream to dip my feet in. It was exactly what I needed. By the time I got back to the cabin, I was tired but happy, ready for another quiet night. That's when I noticed it. I was unpacking my bag, pulling out my charger, when I saw something odd on the dresser. A small black dot, no bigger than a pencil eraser, tucked into the corner where the mirror met the wood. At first I thought it was a bug, maybe a speck of dirt. But when I got closer, my heart sank. It wasn't dirt. It was a lens. A tiny camera, hidden so well I'd never have seen it if I hadn't been looking right at it. I froze, my breath catching in my throat. My first thought was, this can't be real. I mean, who puts a camera in an Airbnb? I touched it, half expecting it to be a sticker or a decoration, but it was real hard, plastic, with a faint red light blinking every few seconds. My stomach churned. Someone was watching me, had been watching me, the whole time I'd been here sleeping, changing, just existing. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and called the Airbnb support line. It was late, but they had a 24/7 number. The woman on the phone was calm, professional, but I could barely keep my voice steady. "There's a camera in my room," I said, my words tumbling over each other. "A hidden camera. In the bedroom." She asked for details, told me to take pictures, send them to her. I did, snapping photos of the camera, the dresser, the room. She said they'd contact the host, investigate, and get back to me. "Stay safe," she said. "Maybe find somewhere else to stay tonight." Somewhere else? It was 9 p.m., pitch black outside, and I was in the middle of nowhere. I wasn't going anywhere. I covered the camera with a piece of tape, checked every inch of the cabin for more. I found another one in the living room, hidden in a smoke detector. Another in the bathroom, tucked into a vent. 3 cameras. 3 tiny blinking eyes, watching me from every angle. I felt sick, violated, like my skin was crawling. Who was watching? David? Someone else? And why? I texted my friend Jess, told her everything. She freaked out, told me to leave, but I didn't have a car. I'd taken an Uber from the nearest town. She said she'd drive up, but it'd take hours. I was stuck. I sat on the couch, lights on, clutching a kitchen knife, staring at the front door. Every creak of the cabin, every rustle outside made me jump. I kept my phone close, checking the locks every few minutes. The Airbnb support team messaged me, said they'd reached out to David, but he hadn't responded yet. They offered a refund, a voucher, but that didn't help me now. Around midnight, I heard something, a faint thud, like a door closing somewhere outside. I froze, gripping the knife tighter. The cabin was silent, but that prickle was back, stronger than ever. I stood up, slow, and checked the windows. Nothing but darkness. No cars, no lights, just the endless black of the forest. I told myself it was an animal, maybe a branch falling, but then I heard it again closer this time. A deliberate step, crunching on the gravel path. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and pointed it at the sliding glass door that led to the back porch. The beam cut through the dark, reflecting off the glass, and then I saw it. A figure. Standing just outside, inches from the glass. Tall, thin, wearing a dark hoodie. Their face was in shadow, but I could see their eyes wide, unblinking, staring right at me. They didn't move, just stood there, watching. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. The knife slipped from my hand, clattering to the floor. The figure raised a hand, slow, and pressed it against the glass. Their breath fogged the window, shallow, uneven. I wanted to scream, to run, but my legs wouldn't work. My phone buzzed in my hand, a notification from the Airbnb app, a message from David. "Everything okay?" it said. "Saw you found the cameras?" My blood ran cold. "Saw you found the cameras." He was watching. Right now. I looked back at the figure, still standing there, hand on the glass. The hoodie shifted, and for a moment, I saw their face, or what should have been a face. It was wrong, blurry, like a bad photo, like something that wasn't fully there. I stumbled back, tripping over the coffee table, my phone falling to the floor. The figure didn't move, just stood there watching, their breath fogging the glass in slow, deliberate puffs. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking so bad I could barely unlock it. I called 911, whispering, "There's someone outside my cabin. I need help." The operator asked for my location, said police were on the way, but it'd take time, 30 minutes, maybe more. I was alone, trapped, with that thing outside. I checked the front door unlocked. I could have sworn I'd locked it. I slammed the bolt shut, my hands trembling, and ran to the bedroom, locking that door too. I hid under the bed, clutching my phone, trying not to make a sound. The cabin was silent, but I could feel it, that heavy, oppressive weight, like the air was closing in. My phone buzzed again. Another message from David. "They're not gone yet," it said. I stared at the screen, my heart in my throat. "They're not gone yet." Who? What? I didn't know, but it felt like a warning or a threat. I turned off the flashlight, afraid the light would give me away. The darkness was suffocating, broken only by the faint glow of my phone. I kept checking the time, praying for the police to hurry. 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. No sirens, no lights, just silence. Then, at 2:58 a.m., I heard it. A creak, inside the cabin. Not outside, inside. Slow, deliberate, like someone stepping on the wooden floor in the living room. I held my breath, my body shaking, every muscle screaming to run but too terrified to move. The creak came again, closer, right outside the bedroom door. I stared at the crack under the door, watching for shadows, for any sign of movement. Nothing, just silence. My phone buzzed. Another message, from David. I can't. They're still in the house. I dropped the phone, my hands shaking so bad I couldn't pick it up. The words burned into my brain. They're still in the house. I heard another creak, softer now, like someone was standing just outside the door, waiting. I clamped a hand over my mouth, trying not to scream, tears streaming down my face. The door handle rattled, slow, deliberate, like they were testing it. I pressed myself against the floor, praying they wouldn't get in. The rattling stopped, and for a moment, I thought it was over. Then I heard it, a voice, low, flat, no emotion. They're not gone yet. It wasn't coming from the door. It was coming from inside the room. From the dresser, where the camera was. I crawled out from under the bed, my heart pounding so hard I thought I'd pass out. I grabbed the knife, ripped the tape off the camera, and smashed it with the handle. The plastic cracked, the lens shattered, but the red light kept blinking. I threw it against the wall, sobbing, and ran to the window. It was still dark outside, pitch black, no stars, no moon. The sun should have risen hours ago, but it was like the night wouldn't end. I heard sirens in the distance, faint but getting closer. I didn't wait. I grabbed my bag, my phone, and bolted for the front door. The living room was empty, the glass door still fogged from that thing's breath. I didn't look back. I ran outside, the gravel crunching under my feet, the cold air biting my skin. The police arrived minutes later, 2 officers with flashlights and grim faces. They searched the cabin, found nothing, no figure, no cameras, no sign of anyone. Just my smashed phone and a broken dresser. They drove me to the nearest town, let me stay at the station until Jess arrived. I told them everything, the cameras, the figure, the messages. They said they'd contact Airbnb, track down David. But when they checked the listing, it was gone. No record of the cabin, no host named David, like it had never existed. I'm staying with Jess now, trying to piece my life back together. I deleted the Airbnb app, changed my number, but I can't shake it, that prickle, that feeling, like I'm still being watched. Last night, I got an email. No sender, no subject. Just one line. They're still in the house. I haven't slept since. Every time I close my eyes, I see that figure, standing behind the glass, watching, waiting. So, tell me, you ever stay somewhere that didn't feel right? Ever find something that shouldn't be there? Check your rooms tonight. Look close, because sometimes they're still watching. You ever book a place online, thinking it's the perfect getaway, only to find out something's wrong? Like, really wrong? I'm Jake, and I've got a story that'll make you rethink those too-good-to-be-true vacation rentals. My girlfriend Ellie and I rented a house through an app for a weekend escape. It was supposed to be romantic, cozy nights, starry skies, just us. But then we realized the host, this guy named Mark, didn't exist. And the house? It wasn't empty. Something was already there. Waiting. Grab a coffee. Maybe lock your doors. This one's going to stick with you. It all started last fall. Ellie and I had been together for a year, and life was hectic. I'm a mechanic. She's a nurse, and we were both burned out. We needed a break, somewhere far from the noise of the city. Ellie found this listing on an app, not Airbnb, some smaller one we'd never heard of, called Stay Easy. The house was perfect, a 2-story cottage in the mountains, surrounded by pines, with a wraparound porch and a hot tub. The price was crazy low, like half what you'd expect. The reviews were stellar 5 stars, raving about the views, the quiet, the charming host Mark. We booked it for a long weekend, packed our bags, and hit the road. The drive was long but beautiful. Twisting mountain roads, leaves turning red and gold, the air crisp and clean. We were giddy, singing along to the radio, planning hikes and lazy mornings. The app gave us a PIN for the address and a key code for the door. No check-in process, no meeting the host, just show up and let yourself in. Easy, right? We got to the house just after dusk, the sky a deep purple, the forest swallowing the last of the light. The cottage looked just like the pictures. White clapboard, green shutters, a porch swing creaking in the breeze. It was isolated, no neighbors for miles, just trees and silence. I punched in the key code, and the door clicked open. Inside, it was warm, cozy. Hardwood floors, a leather couch, a fireplace already stacked with logs. A bottle of wine sat on the kitchen counter with a note. "Welcome, Jake and Ellie. Enjoy your stay. Mark." Ellie squealed, said it was perfect. I agreed, but something felt off. Just a twinge, like a shadow passing over the sun. I shook it off, blamed the long drive. We unpacked, opened the wine, and settled in. Ellie lit the fireplace, and we curled up on the couch, laughing, talking about nothing. It was exactly what we needed. But around midnight, I started to feel it, that prickle on the back of my neck, like someone was watching. The house was quiet, too quiet, the kind of silence that feels like it's holding its breath. I glanced at the windows, expecting to see stars or the outline of trees. But it was pitch black outside, like the world had vanished. I got up, checked the front door locked, windows closed. Everything was fine, but that prickle wouldn't go away. Ellie noticed, asked if I was okay. "Just tired," I said, not wanting to spook her. We went to bed, the upstairs bedroom cozy with a big quilt and a view of the forest. I fell asleep fast, Ellie's head on my chest, the fire's glow fading downstairs. I woke up at 2:47 a.m. Don't ask me how I knew the time. My phone was right there, glowing on the nightstand. Something had woken me, a sound, faint but sharp, a creak, like someone stepping on the stairs. I lay still, listening, my heart picking up speed. Ellie was asleep, her breathing soft and steady. I didn't want to wake her, but I couldn't ignore it. Another creak, closer now, like it was right outside the bedroom door. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and crept to the door. The beam shook in my hand, cutting through the dark. I opened the door, slow, the hinges silent. The hallway was empty, the stairs dark. I stepped out, listening hard. Nothing. Just the hum of the house, the faint crackle of the dying fire downstairs. I checked every room, living room, kitchen, bathroom, all empty, all locked. I told myself it was the house settling, old wood groaning in the cold. But that prickle was stronger now, like eyes on me from somewhere I couldn't see. The next morning, Ellie was up before me, making coffee in the kitchen. She was all smiles, talking about a hike she wanted to do. I didn't tell her about the creeks, didn't want to ruin the vibe, but I couldn't shake the feeling. While she was in the shower, I checked the Stay Easy app, messaged Mark to thank him for the wine and ask about the house's history. No reply. The app showed his profile as active, but the message sat unread. I figured he was busy, didn't think much of it. We spent the day hiking, exploring the trails around the house. The forest was stunning, all golden leaves and crisp air, but I kept looking over my shoulder, expecting something. Ellie noticed, kept asking if I was okay. "Just not used to the quiet," I said, forcing a laugh. She bought it, but I could tell she was starting to feel it too, that unease, like the forest was watching us. Back at the house, we cooked dinner, opened another bottle of wine. Ellie was relaxed, but I couldn't settle. Every sound, the wind, a branch snapping, made me jump. Around 10 p.m., Ellie went to bed, said she was tired from the hike. I stayed up, scrolling on my phone, trying to distract myself. The Stay Easy app was still open, Mark's profile still showing, active but no reply. I sent another message, something casual like, Hey, loving the place. Any tips for local spots? No response. At 2:50 a.m., I heard it again. A creak. This time, it wasn't the stairs. It was downstairs, in the living room, like someone moving slowly across the floor. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and crept to the bedroom door. Ellie was still asleep, oblivious. I stepped into the hallway, the beam shaking in my hand. The air felt heavy, thick, like it was pressing down on me. I moved downstairs, slow, each step deliberate, trying not to make a sound. The living room was dark, the fire long dead. I swept the flashlight around couch, coffee table, windows, nothing. But then, a flicker, a shadow, just at the edge of the beam, near the sliding glass door to the porch. I froze, my heart in my throat. The shadow didn't move, but I could feel it watching, waiting. I took a step closer, the flashlight trembling. "Who's there?" I said, my voice barely a whisper. No answer. Just silence, heavy and wrong. I moved the beam to the glass door, and my stomach dropped. A figure. Standing just outside, inches from the glass. Tall, thin, wearing a dark hoodie. Their face was hidden, but their eyes caught the light wide, unblinking, staring right at me. Their breath fogged the glass, slow, deliberate, like they were savoring the moment. I stumbled back, the flashlight slipping from my hand, plunging the room into darkness. I scrambled for my phone, my hands shaking so bad I could barely hold it. The Stay Easy app was still open, and a new message had come through. From Mark. "They're not gone yet." My blood ran cold. I looked back at the glass door, but the figure was gone. Just darkness, the fog on the glass fading. I checked the front door, unlocked. I could have sworn I'd locked it. I slammed the bolt shut, my heart pounding, and ran upstairs to wake Ellie. "Ellie, we gotta go," I said, shaking her. She blinked, confused, her voice groggy. "What's wrong?" I told her about the figure, the message, the unlocked door. She went pale, grabbed her phone, and started packing. I checked the app again, another message from Mark. "I can't. They're still in the house." I showed Ellie, and she froze, her eyes wide. "Jake, what the hell does that mean?" she whispered. I didn't know, but I knew we weren't staying. We grabbed our bags, headed for the car. It was still dark outside, pitch black, no stars, no moon. The sun should have been up by now, but it was like the night wouldn't let go. I started the car, the headlights cutting through the dark, and peeled out of the driveway. Ellie was on her phone calling the app's support line, but it went to voicemail. "No one's answering," she said, her voice shaking. We drove to the nearest town, found a 24-hour diner, and sat there, shaken, waiting for dawn. I checked the Stay Easy app again. Mark's profile was gone. The listing, gone. Like it had never existed. I called the police, told them everything, the figure, the messages, the house. They said they'd check it out, but when they got to the address, they found nothing. No cottage, no porch, just an empty lot in the middle of the forest. They thought we were pranking them, but I showed them the app screenshots, the messages. They didn't know what to make of it. We're back home now, staying at Ellie's place. I deleted the app, changed our numbers, but I can't shake it. That prickle, that feeling, like something followed us. Last night my phone buzzed at 3 a.m. A text from an unknown number. "They're still in the house." I haven't slept since. Every creak, every shadow makes me jump. Ellie says it's just stress, but I see it in her eyes. She feels it too. So, tell me, you ever rent a place that didn't feel right? Ever wonder who's really on the other side of that app? Check your locks tonight. Look close. Because sometimes they're still there.